assume that I just forgot that we were actually not.
Yeah, we
in
can see
the
it now.
game, but yeah. So now what I'm saying might not actually sound so crazy. So yeah, the monsters, or as they're called in the game, they're called mirages, or something like kind of a chibi style. And the main characters, Lan and Rain, as you can see in battle, they're in their giant form, which is, I guess, your more normal human-looking form, I suppose. But you can change them into what's known as their Lilican form. And Lilican is basically the in-game term for like their chibi form. But as most people on stream probably will recognize, chibi style. We'll call them chibi for the.
They're little pocket forms.
Yep.
So what I'm going to show you now is you can actually change them while you're walking around. So you can actually change your height from giant to Lilican as you go.
It's just adorable.
It's adorable. And
It's adorable.
What's cool is
But what is the purpose, though, of changing them from their photorealistic forms to their chibi forms?
Riding chocobos, clearly.
Clearly to stand on the head of a chocobo and ride it around. But it's, we saw there you had the classic battle system as well. We saw Final Fantasy 15 yesterday, which has got this new dynamic battle system. We're here, you're going back to the classic turn-based
ATV.
Mechanics.
Yep. Definitely. The thing is with World of Final Fantasy, it goes back to the more traditional turn-based ATV style, but it has something brand new to the franchise as well, which basically is the core mechanic of the battle system is stacking system. So the reason why you can change your character's size from chibi to, I guess, normal is to adjust your size, and there are 3 different sizes: large, medium, and small, and you can stack mirages on top of other mirages and on top of you to create more powerful stacks to use in battle. So Ian has gone into this battle in his chibi form, and you can see that he has 2 characters stacked on, well, 1 character stacked on Rain and 1 character stacked on Lan. And when they're stacked, basically your allies combine their strength. So you have 1 character on the ATV bar, which you can see on the left, which fills up, and then you have combined HP and MP gauge. But you can also split them, so into, if you have a stack of 3, then you can have 3 individual characters to use in battle, but obviously because they're not stacked, they're a little bit weaker, but then you get 3 attacks.
But why would, well, you kind of just answered my question, because I was going to say, if I can stack 3 characters who all have fire and create fire go, why would I play unstacked?
Basically, it's there's a couple of reasons, but the main reason is that you can basically triple the number of attacks you could do per turn. But then there's the risk reward because they're weaker apart. So if they get hit with a really powerful spell or critical hit, then there's going to be a lot more danger than if they got hit when they were stacked. Because your stats also combine. And with the stacking, depending on which mirages you have, which you can imprison through the game, which we'll talk about in just a bit, you have a huge variety of mirages that you can stack together. So if you want to go with like really super tough, strong, high defense and physical attack mirages, you can get like a brute force kind of team. Or if you want like a very magic focused, then you can do that. Or if you design your stacks to be played apart, you can also do that. It all depends on your strategy. And now what Ian is doing is he is trying to imprison these bombs. And imprisoning is the system where you... this could be painful.
Oh no.
It's okay.
Oh, we're good. We're good. Whew. So close. I was just about to make a joke about being in hot water, or the kitchen being too hot, or any kind of
wasted puns.
It was about too late. I was too late when
So now that we've been defeated, we've actually been unstacked by the enemy. So you see our little Choco chick, whose name is Twitch. Because you can name them when you capture them as well.
You caught him actually before we started the show today.
No, it was just a pure coincidence.
You can't prove anything.
So now, what you can do is, if you're using items, you could use 2 potions instead of just 1, because there's now 2 of us, because we're unstacked.
Yeah.
And, you could use it in that way as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stack them back together.
Now, earlier we saw you attempting to imprison the bomb. What is imprisoning?
So imprisoning is the system where you basically recruit these mirages into your party, so then you can use them in your team. So you can put them in your stacks, or or however you want to use them in your team, depending on your playstyle.
So it's like a monster hunting game.
Yeah, essentially, that is exactly that. And the imprisoning system is a little bit different in that every Mirage or monster has special criteria that you have to fill before you can actually capture them or imprison them. So some of them you just have to reduce their health down to really low. Some of them have to be perhaps the last Mirage standing in the battle. Some you have to use specific status effects or environmental attacks. So you have to kind of do a little bit of experimentation. You can scan them with Libra, as Ian's doing right now, which will give you basically I'll tell you how to capture them. So to capture this behemoth, once battle, reduce the Mirage HP to create a prism unity, which is the chance to imprison.
So we're going to so for these guys, we just have to reduce their health to enable to capture them. Some, you'll need to use a specific spell. So we're going to bring their health down using attacks, and hopefully they won't get me back in the process.
Just speaking practically here, though, if you catch that behemoth, how are you going to fit it on your head? Because it's quite big.
That's a good point. You won't be able to, because there's a number of sizes. So as we mentioned before, there's a small, medium, and large size to all the Mirages and characters. And only smaller monsters or Mirages can be placed on top of the large. So it has to follow the order of large, medium, small. So in their giant form or normal human form, Lan and Rain are large, same as the behemoth. So you'll have to turn them into their chibi form to put them on top of the behemoth.
Oh, okay.
So or something in between. Like you put a medium-sized Mirage on the behemoth and then have Lan or Rain on top, because they'll be small.
Adding a whole new level of tactical, not complexity, but ideas about how to approach battles, and it's going to allow for a lot more creative gameplay and a lot more decisions. And you know, you can bespoke your own attack, and I want this monster, that one's cute, that one's got a good attack, and we've captured.
Oh, have we?
Oh, I cursed it. I said, oh, the commentators cursed it.
So the way, when you're walking around, you know, we can change our sizes. So the size that you are when you're walking around is the size you will be in battle. So that's how you can figure out what sort of tactics you want to use when you're, planning to go into the next fight. I'm going to use a potion, and you'll see we actually have a classic menu for the Final Fantasy fans from, who are used to this, but you also have a new type of menu for newcomers. So let's use a potion.
And you can change between the menus on the fly. You just press L1.
And this is perfect, of course, for PS Vita as well, because you can actually play this game across the two platforms, PS4 and PS Vita.
Yes, it has cross-save functionality, so you can take your game on the go wherever you are.
Take it on the bus.
That's a huge thing, the fact you can sit at home, get a really good battle going, start your adventure. If you're going out for the day, normally I have to wait to get home. You can take it with you on the PS Vita, and it's the same game, the same save, and then copy it back across to your PS4.
Yep.
So basically, if you need the loo, you just hit pause on your PS4 and take your Vita with you. Not that I do that.
I was thinking about go train journeys, whatever you want to do.
You've got loos on trains.
You got the freedom, I suppose.
You want to play it wherever you want to play it.
We're not here to judge.
So your own personal convenience.
Yes.
So we touched slightly on the twins earlier. What are they doing in
Grimoire. That's well. We don't want to give away too much of the story, but essentially, they've lost their memories and they are trying to recover them by traveling through Grimoire. And on the way, they will. Yes.
Got it.
Yes. The behemoth is actually really tough to catch. So we've been keeping an eye on. Congratulations. We'll be keeping an eye on people playing on the Square Enix booth, and very, very few people have managed to do that. But as I was saying, so as Rain and Lan travel through Grimoire, they will also encounter classic Final Fantasy characters, as well as monsters. Obviously, we've seen classic monsters such as Behemoth and we saw the bombs earlier, and you will meet other characters as well, which can be used in battle as summons. They're called champions, but they're effectively summons, which I believe we have one.
Would you like to see one?
I would love to see one.
Seems like we have Tidus from Final Fantasy X.
I only discovered this morning from Dan that Tidus is pronounced Tidus. For 11 years, I have been calling him Tidus, and I was wrong.
I'm sorry. I feel like I helped enlighten.
You have
And you
enlightened
call
me.
yourself a Final Fantasy fan.
So there's a whole bunch
lied.
of classic Final Fantasy characters who appear as champions, and they have their classic moves, but in the Lillican form. So it's super cool. It's so cute.
I'm sure there's
It's
so
adorable.
many Final Fantasy games nerdgasming out right now that the
Yeah.
thought of this.
Can you tell us about any of the other classic Final Fantasy faces we'll see in this game?
Yeah, sure. In the trailer that we saw before we started the segment, actually, we saw a couple. You saw Snow.
Snow from
From
Final Fantasy 13.
You know, our number one hero. Then, and then I think in the trailer we've all seen before the Warrior of Light from Final Fantasy 1. Cloud is in there. Obviously from Final Fantasy 7. You saw Gilgamesh and Barks from Final Fantasy 5. So yeah, there's a huge number. In early trailers we saw Eiko from Final Fantasy 9.
I feel like we're testing you here, Dan.
So, yeah, I'm just trying to remember now all the ones that we've seen. We've seen Quiztis and Squall from Final Fantasy 8.
Is
There's loads.
Barn from 12 going to pop up?
I don't think we've announced.
Can you announce it now?
Well, I can pass on the message to the dev team that Van is one that
Tell them
you
to
want.
give me a call.
No,
So-
not Balthier? You wouldn't prefer Balthier if you had a choice?
I don't know. I feel like for me, Varan obviously being the guy I was playing
Oh, wow.
for
Yeah.
100 hours of my life, I would like to see him again.
So this is our behemoth we've just caught, and we've named it Spamfish.
Well, what an interesting, what a handsome, rugged beast, puts
He
the
is an
team on his
improvement
back.
on the
Nice-
real thing.
He's the guy to rely on.
You've also got slightly gingery
Yeah,
beards.
got a nice.
it's Auburn, not ginger. It's Auburn.
Sorry, Auburn.
Auburn beard.
Flame.
So
You've
this
got
is where we,
flame-coloured beards.
Auburn.
This is where we set up our stacks as well. So because we only have one behemoth, we can only use it in one stack. But we could also change the ones that appear in here. We don't have any mediums. Oh no, we do. Want to stick a goblin in there?
Oh, nice.
Or let's have a chocobo tower.
Team Chocobo.
Team chocobo, and maybe let's stick a goblin with land. There we go.
Very
So yeah,
cool.
so even in their chibi and their giant states, you can't mix and match your mirages. They can only be used once.
And we can also actually add abilities to the mirages. So let's see, Spamfish can use 3 points. So what we're going to do with him, we can see what sort of things we can do. We're going to add Wild Horn, which is a move we can do in battle. And we're going to add Joyride, which will mean we can ride around on his back.
So
Yeah.
this is quite
In the field.
unique because normally you get to level up your characters rather than, say, your summons. So this is a brand new element for this game.
Yeah, and as you get through it, as you keep leveling them up, eventually you'll be able to transfigure them into their next form. So, you'll have, we've got a baby Hammoth, and obviously that will evolve into its next iteration and so on. So you can really start nurturing your team, and so let's.
Just don't let us down, Spamfish.
I'm famous for being good at things and successful. So yeah, I'm sure that I'll be fine. Look at him, what a noble beast.
Oh, that's so fun.
But it looks great as well. The visual style you're going for here, it's a mix between photorealism and that kind of cartoony style, which is really, really unique.
Ooh, this is quite.
Run, Spamfish,
So-
run away.
So what you can also, I think, you guys in the chat might have noticed when we were unlocking abilities for Spamfish, some of the attacks have topple strength. So when you're facing off against another stack, if you use certain attacks, then you can basically knock them down. You can break apart their stack, so then they'll become weaker apart. So you can kind of pick them apart. Again, so another layer to the strategy.
And that's the thing, is the layers you seem to be adding. Obviously, people love the Final Fantasy mechanics, they love the world and the characterization. But adding this kind of monster collection, the team building, the attribute, the decisions, is adding so much to it. And I'm sure people are going to be able to play this through many times and try different configurations and learn about what they like and what they don't.
Oh yeah, for sure. But again, it's like, I guess it's similar to what we mentioned with Final Fantasy 15 yesterday, that even if you've never played a Final Fantasy game, you can still jump into the world of Final Fantasy and get to grips with everything very easily and have a great time. Because even though, like we've talked about, we kind of nerded out a bit on like all classic monsters and characters, this also serves as a great introduction if you've no idea who they are. So you don't need to know, like we mentioned, like Snow from 13, we talked about Van and Balthier from 12, but even if you have no idea who they are, that's okay, because you'll get to know them throughout the game. And then maybe, if you really like them in this game, then you can go back to see what games.
It's a great entry point to the series, because a lot of people coming into Final Fantasy is like, do I play 10, do I play 7, do I play 6? But they can obviously play this one and then get a flavour of all the characters they like, and it serves as a great introduction.
We did it.
I was a little heavy-handed with that fight.
And you
Sorry,
are
guys.
actually releasing is it called Zodiac Age, the Final Fantasy 7 remaster?
12.
Oh, sorry.
12. Yeah.
Of course. We've got 12 coming out and 7 next year as well.
7 doesn't have a release date.
What?
When it's
Nice
coming,
try.
I think it's done
nice
the release
try.
date. You're just holding back. So when's 12 remaster coming out?
That's 2017, next year. Yeah.
We've got lots to look forward to then.
This looks ominous. Do we want to enter the Merc Rift and attempt a boss
Merc
battle?
Rift doesn't sound very fun, does it? The Merc Rift. It doesn't sound like a happy place of rainbows and colours.
Let's try and catch
Exactly.
one
I want
more
to go
creature
to that.
first.
I want to go to the Merc
The
Rift.
Merc Rift.
Hang on. I'm going to set Rain as tall and Lan as small, and then we're going to enter the Merc Rift and see what happens.
Big twin, little twin.
Yeah.
Merc Rift box.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Oh.
we got this.
Right.
So yeah, eagle-eyed Final Fantasy fans might have a guess of who might this boss be. I'm really testing your knowledge now. If you think about what we've explained about the game already, you
I
might.
mean, she's definitely someone we can catch. She's like a... Oh, no, I don't know.
You have to take away your Final Fantasy cards. It's not good enough.
I'm sorry.
Yay.
I'm not sure. Ian, do you think we should actually tell it, or should we just leave the suspense?
No, I think we should tell her.
This boss is Vita, and that name should.
I'm lost. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
And do you know what it is? It's because that chick that's on with Rita is going... and I'm just absolutely hypnotised.
It's a transfiguration form of Ifrit.
Ifrit, the summon that's in multiple Final Fantasies, so 7, there was 10. Was there a 10?
All of them.
Yeah, all of them.
I think
actually.
Ifrit has been in all.
Okay.
I just can't remember now.
So I'm
Make
going to
sure.
try and unstack them, but I'm going to have to wait till I use Choco Chick because she has a ram ability. I've just realised we've actually left Spamfish out of this fight, so that is not good.
It's all right. He's lazy, good for nothing.
All right.
How can we win without him?
No, he's just chilling.
Okay.
Oh, you see that? There we go. So because there was a topple attack, you see the bar that appeared above Ifrita. That she's now a little bit staggered. That
There we
basically
go.
shows you how
Yes.
stable
Wow.
or unstable the stack is. So yeah, the more you hit it, the more it'll wobble, and then eventually you can knock them down, and then they will be stunned, and then
You can take out the weakest one by one.
Let's use. I feel like Foxfire is. Oh, I used that
No.
one present. That's good. Oh no, that
Oh,
was
it's
right.
all right.
Yeah,
It's all
there
right.
we go. So we can now choose which enemy we want to fight because they're unstacked. So let's just. Let's
Just
go-
beat
let's go
up
with
the
this.
little chick.
pick on the little
It's
guy.
nature. It's the way nature works. You can't apologise for it.
How would you guys feel if someone did that to Twitch?
I'd be so sad.
Yeah.
Wait, it wouldn't. It
Anyone
wouldn't happen.
who's just tuned in, Twitch is the name of our little chocobo.
Yeah, not just Twitch in general. Some giant monster attacking
Someone
the
went
whole
up to
website.
Twitch and went, ugh.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. It's okay because if someone squared up to Twitch, we back him up and we'd be like, mate, step back.
Yeah.
I think we need some help from Tidus again. That's what we're doing.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Okay, so we're going to use some items.
It's also worth remembering as well that while we can topple our enemies, obviously once they've toppled and recovered, they can stack, as Vita has done already, but enemies can also do that to us. I think early on in the stream when we found the Behemoth, I think Rain was unstacked in the attack. So again, you've got a little extra layer to the strategy, so you've got to keep an eye on the status of your stacks. And if it looks like you're going to get like toppled, then sometimes it's best to unstack yourself deliberately so you don't get stunned and then restack. But then obviously you got to think, oh, when am I going to do that? If I do that, am I just going to get absolutely murked? You know, so it's all about timing.
It's not about getting murked.
Yeah.
It's never about that. But yeah, it you say that it adds a whole new level. You know, Final Fantasy. You obviously you've got the famous battle system, but just the fact that you have to make these decisions now on the fly and before you go into the battle and how you approach things, it's going to be all the more involving for players.
And also, I mean, one of the key things here as well is like Tidus, he doesn't stick around. He comes out and he does his attack, kicks butt, and then he disappears again.
Yep.
I got a little bit emotional seeing him spring out the water. I was just remembering the end of 10 and just being like...
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Hashtag no spoilers.
People might not have played it. No
And don't
spoilers.
forget, as well as we talked a lot about the battle today and the walking around, but there's a huge story there. You can go talk to loads of different characters. You can go to different areas that are based on other, things we've seen in Final Fantasy.
Oh, so you have not just character things, you've also got places and elements and
Yeah.
storyline things that all hint towards the Final Fantasy universe.
Yeah, you will revisit classic Final Fantasy locations, as well as new locations, and meet new characters as well as classic characters. And the story is very, very key. Just like any Final Fantasy game, the story is very, very important to this game. I mean, it wouldn't be a proper Final Fantasy game without a really involving and emotional storyline.
And in the same way, is there going to be old school themes and memories in the music, such a big part of Final Fantasy games? I'm sure there'll be some echoes of previous games.
I mean, it's maybe a little bit difficult for us to hear on the headsets, but when Tidus does his attack, the battle theme changes to the Blitzball theme. So they're definitely in the trailers as well. In the trailers, you can hear remixed and remastered themes as well. So there's new and old stuff in there.
So as you mentioned before, for returning Final Fantasy players, they're going to get that, that sense of, I remember this, and new Final Fantasy players are going to get an introduction to the whole world of Final Fantasy.
Exactly. And of course, in the TV stage, for old school Final Fantasy fans as well, you get to see your favorite characters in a whole new light as well. So there's thumbs up for everyone.
Yeah. The chibi version of their favorite characters, and when we start to see, what does he look like as a cute little guy?
And there are so many different creatures in the Final Fantasy universe. That there's endless sort of combinations and evolutions that you can do of these creatures. So it's like a new take on the creatures that people are used to seeing as well. Seeing a little Choco Chick and seeing it evolve into the different versions of Chocobo.
Will we get to ride the full-size Chocobo?
Yeah.
Of course.
And was it hard? Obviously, you couldn't include every Final Fantasy character and every enemy. Was there debate over who to include? Is there some classic ones you've left out? And
not entirely sure. Actually, obviously we're not part of the development team, so we can't really speak on behalf of.
I'm asking all the probing questions.
All the really in-depth kind of questions. But the thing is, there's such a variety. I mean, it's in the name, right? World of Final Fantasy. So there are lots of characters that I guess that are super iconic to the series, like Cloud and Sephiroth. But then you've also got, maybe not necessarily lesser known characters, that's the wrong way to put it, but characters that you wouldn't have
not so iconic.
Yeah, that you wouldn't have necessarily thought about. I mean, you could see